It's official! Construction pricing is happening in Manhattan as early as this June. It's going to be the first toll of its kind in the US of A. In this video, we will discuss congestion pricing, how it works, who exactly is affected, and so much more. It's no secret that Midtown Manhattan has some of the worst traffic congestion in the country. So to combat the gridlock, the city has approved a new plan to charge a toll for any vehicles entering Manhattan's central business district. This type of policy is also known as congestion pricing. Congestion pricing is basically a system of charging cars, trucks, buses, and motorcycles a fee for entering some of New York's busiest areas. The strategy is meant to reduce congestion and greenhouse gas emissions while also improving the transit system and public safety. However, many experts, including myself, believe it will only place an additional burden on workers and small businesses, and may not actually solve air pollution. The city of New York has been discussing congestion pricing for years, but the prospect just got a lot more real after the people in charge of the proposal, the Metropolitan Transit Authority, better known as the MTA, voted to approve the measure late last year. The report laid out the general guidelines for the new tolls, including surcharge and the expected timeline. The toll will affect vehicles entering the island of Manhattan below 60th Street to the north and Financial District at the southern tip of the island. Although it excludes the roads that run along the outer edge of the borough, including the FDR and the West Side Highway, and the lower Manhattan neighborhood of Battery Park City. Cars will be charged $15 to enter the downtown zone. Trucks will be charged between $24 and $36 depending on their size. Cyclists will have to pay $7.50. These daytime rates will be in effect from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. on weekdays and 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. on weekends. Drivers will be expected when entering the impacted zone, but not when exiting. Plus, the maximum you can be charged is once per day. According to the MTA, the congestion pricing plan will reduce the number of vehicles entering the area by 17%. They also claim about 150,000 fewer vehicles will enter Manhattan every day. They also believe it will raise around $15 billion to update the outdated subway and bus system. The congestion pricing plan is expected to go into effect this year. There will be 4 public response hearings held in February and March before it goes to a final vote in April 2024. That means the congestion pricing plan could go into effect as early as the end of June. If the plan is fully approved, it would make New York the first city in the US to enact a congestion pricing. However, other countries have already experimented with similar systems. Singapore was the first country to try out congestion pricing back in 1975. Since then, other major cities such as London, Stockholm, Milan, and Gothenburg have also followed their lead to varying degrees of success. London implemented a similar policy in 2003. The improvements were immediate, and within a year, the number of vehicles entering the congestion zone fell by 18%. However, the effects proved to be temporary, and over the years, the congestion returned. New York and London are more similar when it comes to population and traffic congestion. So there's little evidence to suggest that traffic won't simply return once drivers adapt to the new rates. In my opinion, congestion pricing will continue to widen the gap between the haves and have-nots. For those with the means, it will just be a small nuisance that is instantly tacked onto their Easy Pass prepaid toll account while they drive through, likely an afterthought. But for those who are struggling to make ends meet, it will be a significant burden. It's likely to have the biggest impact on workers who live in transportation deserts in the outer boroughs or in other states that have to commute into New York City to make a living. I am already paying around $12 each day to enter New York City and another $7 just to leave. Imagine for me having to pay a congestion surcharge on top of that every work day. That's an extra $300 per month. It will be even more for larger vehicles, which will squeeze mom-and-pop owned drivers that do daily deliveries. They say it will reduce the number of vehicles entering Manhattan by 150,000, but that will barely put a dent in the overall traffic. If they wanted to help the environment, they could offer something like discounts for electric vehicle adoptions. But right now, that's not part of the plan. Let's face it, the MTA infrastructure, including the subways, are overbloated and unreliable. The main reason people don't use public transportation is because it's just not good. The entire time I lived in the city, it never ran on time, and when you factor in the smelly cabins, homicides, and inconsistent schedules, there are so many reasons people don't take the subway. I say they should focus on those problems first and then consider expanding the services. But I don't believe congestion pricing will make much of a difference in any of New York's transportation issues. To understand how congestion pricing will affect the properties within and outside the zone, check out this other video where I unpack the cause and effect of congestion pricing on housing and what happened in London and Singapore, as well as how it could affect us here in New York City and how it will be a model for other cities around the country. We'll see you in the next video.